Hello. I can never tell when I actually like go live. There we go. Can everyone hear me? All right, you guys, we are having technical difficulties on Sydney's end, so we're working on getting her back into the chat. She couldn't hear me, so I thought it was me. I was working on my microphone, but I think her computer froze up on her, so you guys are stuck with just me for a few until we can get her back into the chat. And I am also still having the blinking camera problems on my end. So we'll try to get that fixed before next week. I'm just going to try to get her in real quick. How is everyone tonight? Let's see who's here. Frenchie's here. Hi. Flippin' Daddy's here. Hi. Scott is here. Wow. Hi, Scott. Cassie's here. I see a troll. I see you, troll. And I think I saw Deb. Hi, Deb. How are you doing tonight? Scrolling through the chat. And Kelly, Hip Flippin' Mama's here. Hi, honey. How are you? We are having technical difficulties of all kinds. It is amateur hour up in the house. Oh, Dominic's here. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Yeah, I did hit 1,000 subscribers last night, you guys. I am stoked. That was a huge goal for me. I had hoped to hit it prior to this or during Vegas, but, you know, I hit it anyway, so I am tickled pink. Thank you, everybody, for the congratulations. It was so awesome. Hi, Heather. How are you? You guys, I got to drink some water. I can hear myself from the other room where Keith is at. It's kind of unnerving. So, yes, I hit 1,000 subscribers last night. I don't understand. Like, when I was a kid, they started school after Labor Day. But I don't understand why they start early nowadays. The flashing makes me look like Disco Sexy Star. That's funny. It really drives me nuts. I feel like I'm going to have a seizure at the computer, but it's only when I'm in Google Hangouts. This is the same camera that I use for the videos I record for the channel. The same exact camera, the same exact computer. The only difference is I'm using Google Hangouts versus the OBS program. Something about Google Hangouts does not agree with my computer or my camera or something. Thank you, Kelly. I was totally stoked to hit 1K. It's awesome. Thank you, Dominic. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping in and telling me congrats. Hi, Key Lime Kisses. How are you? They get out in May. Okay. So they're starting them earlier and they're getting out in May. See, when I was a kid, you didn't get out of school until June and you started after Labor Day. Thank you, Deb. Hi, Tina. You've been watching me since 200, and we make shepherd's pie the same. That's awesome. That's my basic shepherd's pie. I do change it up and add and stuff sometimes. Disco Sexy Babe. Looks like Sydney might be joining us.
Can you see me?
I can see you and hear you.
good. Yeah,
Yay.
I think
okay, so
first time.
I have this great big introduction plan for you.
Sorry.
It's okay. Like my camera's doing this disco crap. You guys, give me a drum roll. This is Posh Royalty right here. She runs the Posh Boss HQ Facebook. I almost threw my phone on the floor. Facebook group. And she is amazing at Posh. You guys, this is Sydney.
Hi. I'm just trying to open the chat so I can see you guys. Give me just 1 second.
Isn't she cute? She's like one of 2 people in the world who are shorter than me.
I'm 5 feet, so.
So her Facebook group is in the feed. Thank you, Holly. You are an excellent moderator. I love you. So as soon as Sydney gets the chat up, I'm going to hand it over to her for a second and let her tell you about herself a little bit. Oh my gosh, Brian's here. Hi, Brian. No trolling.
Okay, I have the chat now, so we're good.
Flippin' Daddy's 410. I think, Sydney, you're 411,
Sorry,
right?
freezing. You keep freezing, and I don't know if that's on my end or.
My camera does a seizure thing.
Okay.
It's amateur hour on the Flippin' Hippos.
We have no idea what we're doing. This is the first time I've ever done this, like, by myself, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, last week was my first time, and Casey can tell you how many text messages he got all day.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so tell everybody.
410.
Yeah.
Hi,
you're like
everybody.
411, right?
I'm reading your messages.
There's a lot. Hi, Heidi. How you doing? It's X-Files. Hey, you know what? I love horror movies and stuff, so.
I love the X-Files.
My thrifty Skate. Hi, Alma. How are you? I was on Alma's show earlier in the week. We had a friendly haul shared. I don't know what to call them if they're not haul offs. All right, so Sydney, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Sydney. I live in South Carolina. I started on Poshmark about 4 years ago in 2014. My mom saw it on, I think, like Good Morning America or something like that, and she was like, oh, you should try this, because I was already on Etsy trying to sell my jewelry and stuff, and she saw this, like, kind of like a clean out your closet kind of thing where you can make money on your clothes and stuff. So she told me, she was like, you should try this. And so I was in college at the time, and I remember I went back to Columbia where I was in college at USC, and I downloaded the app, and I don't think I listed anything right away. I think I waited a few days. But then I listed a sweater on there, and it sold overnight, and I was kind of hooked from that point.
So you have a medical degree, right?
I have a biology degree.
Okay. I remember you telling me in Vegas something about the medical field, and you didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I originally started as chemistry, and then I switched to biology when I went to USC. And so I finished out in biology, and I worked in doctor's offices and vets' offices. And truthfully, I knew it wasn't for me. So that's when I started trying to figure out something else that I wanted to do.
So you've been on Posh for 4 years. How long have you been full-time?
Full-time, probably truly full-time, about a year.
And this is your full-time job. This is what you do, right? Yeah,
I do Poshmark. I do a little bit of eBay. I also do like a little bit of like freelance stuff. Like I do calligraphy, and I do kind of commission things, like a lot of working with brides and doing like their signage for their weddings and stuff like that.
So you do calligraphy too?
I do, yeah. That was something that I kind of figured out I knew how to do on like a fluke. I was blogging for this magazine when I was in college, and they offered me this free calligraphy class if I would go and like write a blog about it. And it was just something that I just kind of picked up and just started. I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. And I actually really enjoy doing it. It's really therapeutic if anybody's looking to get into that. Definitely like look up some YouTube videos. It's really like, it's relaxing, kind of like the coloring books that people do. It kind of reminds me of that.
That's cool. You also make jewelry.
I do, yes. That's how I started. I was working in a little boutique when I was in college, and I started making jewelry that we sold in the boutique, and then I started putting it online. I started it on Etsy and just wasn't getting, you know, as much traffic as I would like. I did sell quite a bit on Etsy and quite a bit locally. And then that's when I found Poshmark and learned that I could start putting stuff on Poshmark because there was a lot more traffic on there.
Cool. So you mentioned that you're a little bit on eBay. You went to eBay Live.
I did.
Tons of fun in Vegas.
I love Vegas. Vegas was a blast.
That was like the best week of my adult life outside of being a mom and anytime.
That was the best thing that I have ever done for myself. Like, I was really nervous about it, like, before we went, like, traveling by myself, because I've never done that. I've never, like, booked a plane ticket or a hotel or anything. And I just, like, headed out to Vegas by myself. Was the best thing that I've ever done for myself in my entire life. It was the best week.
It was fun.
Yes.
And I think you're on Macari too, right? We were talking last night about ways for me to branch out, and you mentioned Macari.
Could you repeat that? You like cut out.
Sorry, you're on Macari too, right?
Yeah, I do a little bit of Mercari. I started on Mercari probably a few months ago. I haven't done a ton of sales on there. It's been kind of trial and error, like learning what sells on there and what doesn't, because it's definitely not for everything. But if you have, like, I've done better. Like, I've sold some of my jewelry on there. I've sold like ties, like novelty items, like weird, unique things do really well on there.
We've had pretty good luck with ties on there as well. For those of you that are thinking about Macari, when you're new, they do cap you at 100 listings that you're allowed to have until you make a certain amount of sales. I don't know what that number is. It just tells me more sales and you can list more than 100. And they do have a thing where, and Keith does this every day because I'm always doing with Posh, you can drop your prices like 10%. They notify your Lakers, and it's a way to get
you can promote them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But let's talk more about Posh. Yeah. The first question I really want to ask you, because I really do consider you a Posh expert. How do you feel about the Posh 30-minute method, and do you think it works?
I have never done the 30-minute method, like, to be honest. Like, that's just not something that I've ever, like, really sat down and, like, okay, I'm going to do this experiment to see if the 30-minute method works for me. Like, I've never sat down and done it. I feel like, you know, just being active on the app, like, they give you that list that you have to do to become Posh Ambassador. That's what they want you to do to really be successful on Poshmark. Like, you need to be following people, you need to be sharing, you need to be listing every day, just like being active on the app, like not constantly, but like you need to like figure out a routine for yourself and then stick to that. So like you have to be putting listings up every day. And then what I try to do is I try to sit down on the last party of the day, which is 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. And I try to go through and share my own closet to the party. And then I go into the party and I try to share 200 of other people's listings. Like I'll go through like the main feed and share like 50. And then you can go over to the host picks and then I'll share 50 of the host picks. And then you can go to, I think there's a new with tag tab. I'll share 50 of those. And like just throughout the party, just try to share up to 200 listings. And then that way you'll get some new followers from that and you'll get other people sharing your listings. And that'll go to their followers in the party.
Okay. I have to interrupt you here because we have a super celebrity in the house. Raykin's here.
Raykin messaged me earlier. I invited him.
Raykin interviewed Sydney in Vegas about Posh.
She did.
She's becoming quite the celebrity herself.
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Oh, and Rockstar Flipper's here.
Oh, snap.
This
Look at
channel
that.
has like gotten some class all of a sudden.
We got Reagan. We got Rockstar. What is happening?
Hi, Steve. Hi, Casey. How you guys doing? Thank you for joining us. And Casey's right. Do listen to what Sydney is saying. Some of you know when I first started on Posh, for the first 5 weeks that I was on Posh, I was doing the 30-minute method, spinning in circles. I didn't make one sale in 5 weeks. 5 weeks and no sales. And Casey introduced me to Sydney. I joined her Facebook group. I started listening to what she was telling me to do and started following her system and kind of letting go of that 30-minute method. And within 2 days, I had like 8 sales and I was an ambassador. So you guys need to listen to what she says. I'm going to sing. So
I'm glad
how many?
I could help you. I didn't realize that it had been that long and you didn't have any sales.
Yeah, I was on there for 5 weeks, like, wasting my time doing things that weren't doing anything for us. And it was time, you know, I don't want to say that I could have been spending on eBay because we are wanting to cross post.
Right.
But I was not doing anything that was going to make me sales. It would kind of be like the equivalent if you went on eBay and just looked at other people's stuff all day, I guess, and you weren't active.
Right.
So how many times a day should we be sharing our closets?
You need to share your own closet probably at least 3 times a day. If you get up in the morning and while you're having your coffee, like share your closet. Like the goal is to kind of keep your closet circulating in the search results and to keep your closet active. So you need to try and make it a goal to share your closet at least 3 times a day. And I get a lot of people, like as you get more and more listings, like people will say that that's really hard because if they have, 500 listings, to sit there and share them, like you have to set aside time for that when you're also trying to list things and get your photographing done and all of that. So in that case, what I will do is I will pick a certain category and share those, or pick, if you notice some listings are getting a ton of traffic, like they're getting likes, they're getting shares, pick those listings and share those, because that means that the algorithm is picking up on those listings and that those listings are more likely to be seen and they're more likely to sell. But definitely focus on sharing your own closet, at least once a day. Like if you have a ton of listings, at least try to do the whole closet once a day.
Yeah, mine's not very big yet. It only takes about 20 minutes. And I mean, this is a good suggestion for everybody. I use the time wisely. So I do share mine 3 times a day, sometimes only twice, and Keith does the third for me while I'm cooking dinner. I guess he does the second one during dinner, but sometimes Keith does one. But what I like to do is I like to watch educational YouTube videos. I watch Reagan, I watch Casey, I watch Sydney, I watch Lindy Glenn, I watch some of Alma on My Thrifted Escape. But I use the time when I'm sharing my closet to also be learning and watching YouTube videos that are educating me. So it's not like I'm just sitting there at my computer, my eyes crossed and falling asleep sharing. I'm actually doing something else at the same time.
Right.
How important is the ambassador status?
I get a lot of questions about this, and something that surprises me is like people are constantly asking me if Poshmark ambassador status hurts their sales. I think it's important because that's going to give you, once you hit Poshmark ambassador, you'll start getting followers like crazy. And the more followers you have, if somebody comes into your closet wanting to buy something and you have a lot of followers, that's going to make you look more experienced. It's going to make you look like a more serious seller. I don't necessarily think that Poshmark ambassador leads to more sales or it's going to like skyrocket your sales, but it's going to make customers take you more seriously because it's going to get you followers. And then that also tells people that like your closet is Poshmark compliant, that you have good ratings, that you've had sales, and they're more likely to buy from you. And then for the people who are asking if Poshmark ambassador hurts your sales, like I don't think it hurts your sales. I think what people are doing is they're doing all of these things on that checklist, which is exactly what you need to be doing every single day. And then once they hit that Poshmark ambassador status, they slack off on it. And if you slack off on it, then your sales are going to go down because you're not doing these things every single day. Because that list that they give you is Poshmark telling you what to do to make sales. And then once they hit that status, then they stop doing those things as much because they're not working towards something. And so they're not active on the app as much. But I do think that Poshmark Ambassador does help you in terms of giving you like the clout for your customers to take you seriously and buy from you.
Okay, so it would be like equivalent to the top rated seller status on eBay. It just makes you look credible.
Right. It's basically Poshmark saying that they stand behind your closet and that because back in the day before they did the Poshmark Ambassador, they had suggested user. And what that was is you had to have a Posh compliant closet, and then you had to email Poshmark, and Poshmark had to go in and manually review your closet. And it took forever. Like, I don't even know how they were able to do this, but they were manually reviewing people's closets, and they developed the Poshmark Ambassador program so that they could automate that system. So that way, you have to hit all of these levels, and then that says to Poshmark that you're a serious seller and that you're doing everything correctly and that you can be basically certified by Poshmark.
Okay, that makes sense. How many times a day should we be sending out offers to likers?
I send out an offer to likers every single time that I notice that somebody likes something on the chance of getting that impulse buy. Because if somebody is on Poshmark and they like my item, I think it's kind of an understood etiquette by now that the customers are liking items that they're interested in buying. And I will go on Poshmark if I'm shopping, and I will like an item that I want to buy in hopes that the seller will send me an offer, because that will also give me discounted shipping. So as soon as I notice that somebody likes an item, I send out an offer on the off chance of getting that impulse buy. And then sometimes I get impulse buys, and then sometimes if you notice after like 22 hours or 23 hours, I'm not sure the exact time frame, but Poshmark sends them a notification the next day telling them that the offer is about to expire. And a lot of times I get sales when Poshmark sends out that notification because the offer is about to expire and they accept it because Poshmark is sending them that notification.
They're creating urgency for them.
Right, yeah.
So you send it out as soon as you get your likes, but do you ever sit down and just do all of them?
I have, yeah. If I notice, like if I haven't done it in a while, I will sit down. If it's like usually on a Thursday or Friday night, because that's when people get paid and that's when people are shopping, and I'll go through and send out offers. Okay, because I do it like once a day. Am I wasting my time? You're not wasting your time, no. I mean, I think you should send out offers as often as you want to. Like it's not gonna hurt anything to send people an offer. And then you're always gonna get like more likers that you can send offers to. So if somebody wants to buy something, send out the offers all day. I do it once in the evening. I do it everybody because, and this is how Casey explained it to me, and I think this is how you explained it to him, and then he told it to me. Okay. Like if you see that you have if you have 5 likers on a pair of Miss Me jeans and the next day you still have 5 likers, it could be that 3 people unliked it overnight and 3 new people liked it, and you don't know because the notifications are crazy and you can miss things. Right. So I do it personally. I like to do it like every day in the evening. I try to keep track of what time it is because you said it's better at night. And then on Saturdays, I offer 20% off. And if my profit is still over $20, I will offer total free shipping. And that is how you guys see every Monday morning when I'm telling you guys I have like 6, 8, 9 sales. It's because if I had something really expensive up for $50 all week and I was offering 10% off, now I'm offering them $40 free ship and they take it. And I'm still making a good point to make about that is that you have priced your item high enough to where you can do that. Because a lot of people don't really take that into consideration, but you have priced your item high enough to where you can give them free shipping to move the item and still make money on it. Yes, even with 20% off and offering that free shipping,
I am still sometimes making exactly the same or a little bit. Well, I should say sometimes I'm making the same as eBay. Often than not, I'm making a little bit more than one on eBay.
Right.
Okay, so my next question would be sharing yourself versus sharing others.
Right.
What should you be focusing on more?
Sharing yourself. Share yourself, share your own listings first, make sure those are shared and those are circulating. Then go into the parties and share other people's listings. The point of sharing other people's listings is that is going to get you, like, they're going to share your listings back. So that's going to get you more exposure, but not everyone is going to do that. So you need to be putting more time into sharing your own listings to keep them in the search results, because like you want your listings to be shared during the parties, because that's when the most people are active on the app. But during the day when, like, you know, it's not party, like people aren't really using the app as actively, you need to be sharing your own stuff to keep it in circulation and to keep it in the feed, like higher in the feed where people will see it.
Okay. So when I first started, I every day would go in and I would go through my news feed back 24 hours and I would share everybody that had shared me. But then I became an ambassador, and it's just, if I do that, it's going to take me an hour or two. It's going to be time consuming every day. So okay. I guess my question is etiquette. If I don't share people back sharing me, is that rude?
It's not rude if you can't get to them. Like, don't sit there and stress over, like, oh, I have to go share all of these people's listings. Like, just go into the party and start sharing other people's listings so that you're sharing first. And then that way they can return your shares. But don't sit there and stress if you can't get to everybody who has shared your listings, because it's insane. Like, I'll log in and have 500 or 600 notifications. And there's no possible way you can go in and do all of that.
Yeah, like in the beginning, it was no problem. It would take me 20 minutes, but it got to a point where it was eating up so much time that, you know, this is actually Keith's question he wanted me to ask you, because he said, well, maybe you don't need to be sharing everybody because it's eating up so much of my time that I was giving up eBay listings. I was not doing other stuff. So I guess it's more important to focus on sharing during parties and sharing from your newsfeed, is what you're saying?
Yes, that, and like if you notice that somebody that you know has like shared your listings, like go back and share their listings, like if it's somebody you know personally. But like any other time, try to be the person that shares first so that people are returning your shares. But don't spend a ton of time trying to go backtrack and share all these people's listings.
Okay, that is good advice, because I think a lot of people stress out about that. I know I did. And I felt like I was being rude, but then when you really think about it.
Yeah, don't stress out about it. Like, it's impossible. Like, it's just not realistic to go back and share every single person's listings.
Yeah, we all get the same 24 hours in a day, and we don't want to spend them in our news feeds.
Yes.
So the parties, do these just pop up, or do they have specific times?
Repeat that one more time.
Did you not hear?
It's like cutting out just a little bit. It's spattered.
The parties, do they pop up whenever people have them, or do they have specific times that they go on?
The Posh parties? The Posh parties are at the same time every single day. So on the East Coast, it starts at noon, and then there's one at 3, and then there's one at 7, and then there's one at 10. So the first party is usually brand specific, and they've expanded this recently to include more brands. But that's going to be when you share, you know, they'll have like, I think they call it the preppy party, where it's like J. Crew and Kate Spade and Lily, and they have a whole list of them now. And you share specific brands to that party. The second party of the day is going to be like a category, like best in jeans, best in dresses and skirts, best in tops. And so then you share all of that category to the party. The third party of the day is usually men's, kids, plus size, or I think they've now added petite to that party, but it's usually like one of those like specialty categories. And then so that way, because it used to be when they first introduced men's that you couldn't share them to all the parties. So then they started doing just a men's party, and then that's how the 7 o'clock party came about, because there wasn't always a 7 p.m. party. And then the last party of the day is basically anything goes. The last party of the day will always have a theme, but you don't really need to worry about the theme because you can share all of your listings to the party.
Okay. And can you explain the closet closeouts quick for us?
The closet clear out?
Is it clear out? I always call it closet closeout.
Closet clear out. Sorry, there's like a bug in here that's like flying around. So if you see it, I'm like on my porch, but it likes my big lighting kit. But anyway, closet clear out is something that has been around since Poshmark's, I don't know if since it started, but it was a very, very old feature on Poshmark. Like back when I first started, this is what they would do periodically to offer shipping discounts and encourage sales. So like they would usually do it on a holiday weekend because people would be out of town and people wouldn't be buying as much. So this way they could offer a shipping discount and people would buy stuff on slow weekends. So that was before they had this offer to likers feature. So now on the offer to likers feature, you know, you can send out shipping discounts, but you have to cover the shipping discount. During closet clear out, whenever you discount your price 10% on your item of the lowest historical price, Poshmark covers the shipping discount during closet clear out. So that way, you know, whenever you discount your item 10%, it will give them the $4.99 shipping, but you have to discount it 10% off of the lowest historical price, and then the price that you discount it to has to be $10 or above. So you have to keep those things in mind. And like we were talking about pricing before, you have to like kind of price your items to allow for that, because they're still doing the closet clear out weekends, or like usually they'll do it for like a day now. It used to be an entire weekend. Recently they've been doing it for just a day. But you have to price your items accordingly to make sure that you leave room for that closet clear out discount and still keep your item $10 or above.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to point out is if you do an offer to liker for 10% and you do it the next day, if they've already received it, they do not get notification again. But if it's closet clear out, they do get notified from Posh when you drop the price.
Yes, if you have dropped it 10% off of the lowest historical price, anybody who has liked that item will receive the notification about it. And now I believe they have 6 hours to buy it. It used to be they only had 1 hour to buy it, but now I believe they've upped that to 6 hours. So they have 6 hours to purchase it after you discount the price of it.
Okay. I have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll get to their questions.
Okay, sounds good.
How do we, those of us that use eBay, comp our items for Posh?
Okay, so if you're outsourcing or whatever you're doing, if you find something to comp for Poshmark, you need to go into the app and you need to search for the item like you're shopping for it. And then you need to go under the filters and you need to go under availability and select sold. And that will show you what the items have been selling for. When I'm doing this, I check Poshmark and I also check eBay. And then I also go on Google and I look up the retail price of the item. And I feel like not a lot of people do this, but you need to know what the retail price of the item was to really figure out what you need to be selling it for, because you have to remember that a lot of people on Poshmark are just selling things out of their closets to get rid of it. And they're not trying to make a profit. They're not trying to do anything. It's bringing the price down. Right. But I try not to worry about those people who are just selling things for $5 to get rid of them. Like if you have a good quality item, you need to look up the retail price of it and figure out what would be a fair price on your end to price. size somebody's looking for that might not be available anywhere else on the app. So you can't really go 100% by the comps just because, you know, you have those people who are just trying to get rid of stuff.
Okay, what I do is I have free shipping on eBay. So if I'm asking $25 for a pair of BKE on eBay, I ask for 25 on Posh.
Right.
When I listed on Mercari with charge shipping, I would subtract $3 or $4 and then ask for that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I do. I see a lot of questions in the chat. I have one more question for Sydney, and then we're going to open it up, and you guys can ask her anything you want within reason. The last question I have for you, without giving it away any of your super secret things that you enjoy flipping, can you give us a couple brands that do well on Posh?
Okay, so this is something that I have learned is going to be relevant to where you are. But like, since we're starting to go into like the fall and winter seasons, you really need to be looking for like your jackets, like blazers, you know, White House Black Market has good blazers, Banana Republic, like those are like small brands that you guys can look for, like that are kind of realistic, like everywhere has them. Obviously like North Face, Patagonia, stuff like that. And then also something I get asked a lot is like out of season items. Like if you find something that's out of season, still buy it and still list it. Like you have to think about, like where I'm from in the South, the sororities have to wear like dresses to all of their functions. And, you know, dresses are something that are kind of not ever going to be like a seasonal thing. So if you find a cute like Lily dress or anything like that, still buy it and still list it, even if it's like not the season that it's appropriate for, because people will still be buying it and people are going to go on vacations. And you, like, I buy all seasons all year round. Like I sold an UGG poncho a few months ago in June for like $70. So still look for out of season stuff, even though the one thing that you think is not going to sell will sell.
I follow the same rule of thumb for eBay. If I find it at a good price, it's going in my store because, like you said, people go on vacation, people go on cruises in the middle of the winter, and it's not always the way it is where we live, other places in the world. So it can be warm.
Like, you notice at Target, at least at the Target tier, they carry bathing suits now all year round because people are constantly going on vacations to places where they need bathing suits, and they keep them in stock.
Yeah. Definitely. And I know in the winter, I'm sorry, in the summertime, I sell historically more cardigans and sweaters than I sell any other time. And I think that's because business offices and workplaces crank up the AC.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I used to work in a doctor's office, and there was a lady who worked in there, and she had a heater in her office like year round because she was constantly freezing to death. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The blazers, the cardigans, like, women keep buying those because they have to wear them in the offices when they're freezing to death. Because I'm one of those people, if I'm somewhere and I'm freezing and I need to have a jacket with me.
I wear a sweater at home every day when I'm listing.
Yes.
I'm always cold. Okay, we're going to open up the floor to questions for Sydney.
Yes, I have the chat. I'm reading it.
She's got the chat. Do us a favor, put like a couple question marks in front of it so we can dig it out. I wanted to respond to NW Purple Sparkles. Thank you. Hello, by the way. I didn't say hi to you today. You can't imagine not knowing the original retail of something. I can't imagine knowing the original retail of something. There are people in the world like me who have lived their entire life in jeans and T-shirts and don't know the first thing about anything. And Casey told me that you can just kind of make up a price if you kind of know, like if you've ever had it new with tags before.
Yeah, like you can Google something of a certain brand and it will bring up similar items because like stores repeat stuff every single year. Like I've worked in retail. I worked in retail like starting when I was 17 all through college, even some after college, like just like as a side job. And, you know, people, they just repeat stuff season after season. So you can go like on the J. Crew website and you can type in like a similar thing if you find something, and then it'll show, it'll give you an idea of what the retail price was on that item.
Okay. Well, I did see some questions up here, so I'm going to scroll back through. Does the closet clear out dropped price lower your asking price, or is it a private temporary offer? My detective asked.
Say that one more time. You froze.
Does the closet clear out drop price lower your asking price, or is it a private offer?
It lowers the price publicly. So when you drop the price for closet clear out, you're dropping the price on it publicly and everyone can see that. The offer to likers is a private feature where you're sending offers directly to the people who have liked your item. And then when you do that on Poshmark, a little banner appears at the top of your listing to somebody who comes across it and hasn't liked it. And it encourages them to like the item for the private sale price.
Awesome. Hi, Bill. I see you.
Hi,
say hi to David, too. You want to say hi to the boys?
Hi. I miss you guys.
I just fell in love with Bill and David while we were out there. They are the most awesomest people.
They are amazing. I love them. Yes, they're going to the Philadelphia Poshmark Live party. They are going to have a blast.
They are awesome. Tina Q wants to know, can blocked users still see her closet?
Yes, they can. They cannot interact with your closet, but they can still see your items and see your closet. And if they go to share something from it, it will tell them that they are blocked.
Does anyone else have questions?
So, is there any order in which you share your own items? I try to share because I try to keep my newer items at the top, and I'll share from bottom to top so that the newer items end up at the top of my closet when I'm done sharing, so that they kind of stay in the order that I want to keep them.
Oh, so if you share from the bottom up, they'll stay in the same exact order that you saw them?
Yeah, like, so like whenever I have my newest listings at the top, I'll go down to the very bottom of my closet and go backwards.
Okay, because I've seen some folks have their closets really organized. They look nice. They have like a blank photo that says bras and then tops and then pants. And I really kind of want to organize my closet like that so it looks pretty while it's still small before it's overwhelming. But then I thought, I'm just going to get it all mixed up and screw everything up.
Yeah, I can't do that. It'll drive me insane. Like, so I keep my newest things at the top, and then whatever happens, happens.
All right, Cassie wants to know, she's taking personally when people quickly decline offers that she sends out on items. Is she the only one?
You're not the only one. I see this in my group like daily. When
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, I didn't mean she's the only one. I was like, yeah, I see this a lot.
Like, nobody likes to see that notification, so-and-so has declined your offer. It's just kind of like a buzzkill. But you just have to ignore these people. Like, some people just don't want the notification on their feed, so they just click decline, or they don't want to purchase at that time. Like, it's nothing personal against you. They just don't want to buy the item at that time.
I think some people new to Posh don't understand the offers to likers, and they may have just liked it because it was cute.
Yeah, like some people go through and they will like listings kind of like they like pictures on Instagram. Like if they see something that, like you said, if they just think it's cute, they'll like it because they haven't learned the etiquette yet. That if you like something, that's telling the seller that you're interested in buying it. Eventually they will learn, but you have to remember the new people, like they just don't know the lingo or the etiquette yet.
And then I would also say it's kind of like on eBay when you get the low balls and the customers that send you the messages that make you want to just lose your mind. You just have to take a step back, and you just have to keep your emotions out of your business.
Yeah, when people want something for $3 on eBay, free shipping, you just have to kind of like take a couple deep breaths.
We got a $1.68 offer this morning. See, we laugh at it. People
don't understand that even though you have stuff marked free shipping, that you still have to pay the shipping. Like, people don't get it at all.
I totally agree with that. Like, I think that when there's free shipping, there are some people in the world that think that means free to you also. And then there's people who don't understand that we pay fees, whether it's eBay, Poshmark, PayPal. So if they pay, you know, $20 or something, they honestly believe that you just pocketed that $20 bill. They don't understand that we have fees and shipping. And so I try to sometimes play devil's advocate and forgive them for offering low because they don't know any better. But like that $1.68 free ship, I'm like, you know better, and you're being a turd. And it was because,
well, like, I'll try to like add it into like a counter offer note. I'll put like, due to shipping costs on this item, blah 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 blah, like, so that they know that I still have to pay to ship the item. Like, just because it says free shipping, it's not actually free completely.
I don't think they care, though, to be honest. They don't.
They just want something $5 free shipping. Like, that's what they want.
Yep. So my general consensus is you don't want to ignore them and you don't want to decline them, because on eBay, I know we're talking about Posh, but real quick, when you guys go back and forth, it pushes your item up in the searches and it counts as activity for Cassini and it makes your item more desirable. So just go back with 10%. And thanks for your interest in this item, and move on with your day. Emotions don't really have a place in business. And I had a hard time with that in the beginning. Everybody does. And you just get to a point where you can. Right. So the Real Stitch wants to know, do you take a chance of sharing so much to the same people?
Okay, so this is where the algorithm comes into play. So when you go through and you share your closet to your followers, it's not going, every single item is not going to all of your followers. So, you know, it's going to people. Poshmark has the algorithm, and I have a video on this that explains this a lot better than I can right now. But what you see on Poshmark is a result of what you have liked and interacted with, and brands that you follow, and honestly things that you have shared too. So every single time that you share your closet, not all of your followers are seeing all of your items. So like, some people think that they are like spamming all of their followers if they're sharing their closet, and that's not how it works. So like, if you share your items, like if you have a lot of J. Crew items, your followers who like J. Crew, they're going to see those items. And then the people who have not, you know, really, you know, shared J. Crew or liked J. Crew items, they're not going to see those items. So like, your items are not being seen by everybody every single time that you share them. So don't worry about like spamming people when you're sharing your items.
And she does have a really good video on her YouTube channel about the algorithm. And she also has a 2-part series on the closet clear outs. It goes into a little bit more detail. And I have to say, yesterday was the first time I've ever used closet clear out scratching, because I had kind of fumbled around with them and I saw that she said something in her Facebook group. And so I went and watched both of her videos, and I was like, oh, I get it now. And we had like 4 sales results from it. So nice. Guys, when we say to listen
correctly, and you priced your items correctly, you can have success with it. Like, people get so frustrated with it, but I mean, you're gonna get sales or you're not, but you have to drop the prices to at least try.
Exactly. And you know, like when we tell you to listen to Sid and watch her videos, do it, because I've done the closet clear outs before and maybe got 1 sale. Yesterday I got 4 sales just by doing them after watching her videos. And you do talk in there about how to raise the prices back up and delete the items and stuff. So
yeah, so in closet clear out, if you drop your price and then you want it to be back to the original price so that you can discount it on the next closet clear out, you need to delete it and relist it, so that between this closet clear out and the next one, it has time to get more likers on it.
And I see Cassie has some good advice to go to similar items with lots of likes, follow those people that are liking the item. And I'm sorry, you guys. In hopes to get sales when they share back. There we go.
Yeah, I can follow likers, because like if you go in and follow somebody's followers, you're following a lot of sellers probably. So if you go onto an item and you actually follow the likers, some of those people are going to be customers and buyers. So you'll have a lot more chance of picking up some buyers as followers if you're following the likers.
Yeah. So for instance, if I had BKE buckle jeans, I would go look for other BKE buckle jeans and follow those likers. And then they would probably see mine when they're shopping. And Kathy,
yeah, and
real quick, I want to get
search by brand too. You can search by brand and follow people by brand who have those brands in their closets, or you could go to their closets and then follow their likers.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Kathy. This girl shares my closet like her life depends on it. And ever since Vegas, I haven't been able to reciprocate. So public apology. I will share your closet, I promise. It just feels like ever since we got back from Vegas, I had a week's worth of news waiting for me in my Posh, and then eBay. We're all still climbing out of a hole.
We're all still trying to like get back on track from Vegas. Like, I don't know what happens in Vegas, but like, especially because and I feel like I'm still not the same from having to stay up all night in the airport. So like I'm still trying to get like organized and try and get my life together before Q4 starts and the madness begins.
Yeah, I honestly, I was spoiled in Vegas. We had people everywhere we went with trays of food and drinks following us around. And I mean, we've been back for 2 weeks and I have yet to sit down to dinner with Keith and have all my stuff together. I'm forgetting napkins. I'm forgetting drinks. It's like, I don't know how to make a meal anymore, do dishes, let alone run my business.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like trying to get back on track from that vacation, like just being there for a week, like I can't even explain Vegas if you've never been there. I had never been there, and I can't even Vegas is a different world. It's like being in the Twilight Zone for a week.
It is. It feels like you've been there longer, but it goes by too quick. But you get really, really spoiled because you're eating out and you have maids and you have maids.
Yeah, going back to my room every day, my bed was made. That was amazing.
You had maids and towels brought to you and food was everywhere you went, and you just took it, and there was carts of sodas and free booze everywhere. It was just,
and there was $35 pizzas.
Yeah, that room service was nuts.
I did not want the room service while I was there. I thought about it because I had a dining credit, but I never got around to doing it.
Well, it was like 2 in the morning. It was after the last night, so
yeah, you told that.
I had a few, and I was like, I'm so hungry, Keith.
$35 pizza.
We ordered a pizza that cost $35. It was really good, though, and it's the tax.
I will say, though, that is awesome that there are places to eat in that hotel 24/7. Like, you can go down to the lobby any time of day or order room service 24/7. Like, you will not go hungry in Vegas.
Yeah, but even places there, they'll give you food poisoning.
Yeah, don't do the food court at Mandalay Bay. Don't do the pizza place at Mandalay Bay. If anybody is watching this and is going to Mandalay Bay in the future, stay away from the pizza place.
It's next to the Subway. But yeah, anyway, my point was like
the Subway.
The first day I got back on Posh, I literally looked at my news feed and went, oh my God, I'm never, and I spent like 3 days like avoiding the news feed and just sharing my closet. Then I started to feel guilty for not sharing back. But yeah, I wanted to give Cassie a shout out because she shares me so religiously. And it's like, I'm still trying to get eBay back on its feet and Posh and YouTube. And it's not that I'm trying to be a jerk. It's that don't have enough hours in my day. Like, it would be cool if we didn't have to sleep.
There's not. I mean, that's why I set aside time in the last party, and that's my sharing time. Like, I don't, like, sometimes I'll do the other parties throughout the day, but the last party for me is the priority. Like, during the day, I'm trying to get my listings done, and then I can sit down and share them at the last party of the day.
So do you share your closet 3 times a day?
I try to every day, yes. Since Vegas, that has been, like, pulling teeth, but prior to Vegas, yes, I was sharing my closet 3 times a day.
So you share your closet 3 times a day. You do how many listings a day? Pre-Vegas?
Okay, so I share my closet 3 times a day, and then I try to share 200 times during the last party. Sometimes I will go into the other parties throughout the day, and I'll try to share 200 times during those, especially if it's a party where I have a lot of brands that I can share to that party or a lot of items that are specific to that party. Then I'll make it a priority to do that party, like the preppy party, because like just because of where I live and the brands that I have, I always try to make it a priority to do that one. And then the jewelry and accessories party I will do.
And how many listings a day do you do?
How many listings do what?
How many listings do you put on Posh today?
How many listings do I have on Posh? Is that what you said?
No, how many new listings a day?
Oh, how many new listings a day? I try to do between 10 and 20 a day.
20 or 28?
10 to 20.
We're both deaf today. So 10 to 20. And I'm doing 5, which you told me is the minimum, which is okay. 5 is cool.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people like can't go sourcing a lot or can't go sourcing every day to have amount of inventory. So if you can only get a certain amount of inventory, try to space that out to where you have things to list every day, because that is going to help you out more than listing everything at once.
Okay. I try to do 5 to 10, but it's more like 5 because I'm trying to do, well, I used to do 10 crossing to Posh each day and 10 new ones on eBay each day. But right now I'm trying to do 20 on eBay each day, just because we're trying to get eBay back up. And our goal for fourth quarter is 3,200, I think, in eBay. And I want to have like 700 in Posh. So I really got to buckle down. Carol D says she had to contact Posh to release her money both times. Is that something that happens?
I have never had that happen. What you will have happen is that people will receive the item and they either just don't go in and release your funds, or they will forget. In that instance, your money will release on the 4th day after the item has been tracked delivered on the app. So like it takes they have 3 days to accept the item, and then it releases on the 4th day. Yeah,
and Posh will release it after the 3rd day if the buyer does it. But I find that most buyers give me a 5-star rating and accept it like within minutes of getting it. And I've only had 2 ratings that weren't 5. They were 4 stars, and it was for packaging. And I'm okay with that because I put my Posh items in a piece of plain tissue paper inside of a plain gray poly, the same things we use for eBay, sometimes in priority mailers because those are free and I'm not paying for them. I don't do anything really fancy, but I do same-day shipping. So I always feel like it's not as pretty as other people's, but you are getting it so super fast that should make up for it. But some people expect the unicorn glitter farts.
Yeah, just be careful with the tissue paper, because I have seen a ton of people who only do like tissue paper inside a poly mailer. And so if the item gets wet at all, like the tissue paper will transfer onto the item. And especially if it's like, you know, bright colors or something, like that can transfer onto the item. So if I'm doing tissue paper, like I usually have to do tissue paper for shoes. I wrap the shoes in a plastic bread bag, and then I wrap them in tissue paper so that the bag separates the item from the tissue paper.
Yeah, I'm not. I get the free tissue paper from eBay for those orders, and I've been using tissue paper for the entire 1.5 years we've been shipping stuff. It'll bite me in the ass someday, but Oh, I just demonetized myself.
Demonetized.
Okay, we have a couple more questions here. When someone shares my item to Twitter and I try to share it back, why does it show user not found from Tina?
I honestly have never experienced that. If you're searching for them, like from their Twitter username, like their Twitter username may not be the same as their Poshmark username. I don't have my Poshmark connected to my Twitter account, so I don't really use that feature. So I have never experienced that, or like it saying user not found. But it might be because their Twitter name is different from their Posh name.
And I Run Amok wants to know if listing 5 to 10 will be enough to keep her relevant.
Yes, listing 5 items a day on Posh, like that will keep your account active, and you're good. If you can do 5 a day, that's perfect.
And I'm trying to rush through because we are after 9 o'clock. So we'll take these last 2 and then we'll wrap up. Carol D says, oh, she said that about contacting Posh because 2 sales were where the package was sitting at the customer's post office and the tracking said waiting for pickup. And that delayed her payment.
Yeah, so
yeah, if they don't release it.
If they don't go pick it up, I had this happen to me probably a few months ago. If they don't go, if they have a PO box or it gets held at their post office for whatever reason, they have to go and pick up the item for it to be scanned, delivered. So that's good that Poshmark released your payment to you. When that happened to me, I was going to contact them, but then the person picked up the item and released the payment immediately. But that's good that they helped you whenever that happened. But that's wise because some people just are really slack about picking up their PO box stuff.
And Holly says, I heard one seller who was frustrated because the buyers were mad that the items weren't wrapped super fancy and they included free items.
And you will have those people, like I have worked in retail for a long time, and you get those people in person. Like there are just going to be people out there who are just like unhappy no matter, I mean, you could give them $1 million and they're still going to be unhappy about it.
Yeah, my mom used to say, and I'm going to chance demonetizing again, but my mom used to say some people are so unhappy that they would bitch at a free beer party.
And it's true. Like, I've seen that too, where people get free stuff and they're like, I didn't order this. Or like, you have to be careful on the free gifts too, like sending people like cosmetics and stuff. Like some people are allergic to things and all kinds of stuff. So if you're going to do free gifts, try to do like erasers or pencils or notepads or, you know, something that like is useful. I just try to stay away from like sending anything that could like explode in the package.
Oh, they were upset because they didn't get free items. I don't think that's normal.
Get it? That's frustrating. Like I don't normally do free gifts. I've never had somebody get frustrated because they didn't get one. But that's interesting because I guess, you know, the people that they ordered from before sent free gifts, but that's really frustrating. But Poshmark does not require you to send free gifts to people. So that's just going to be one of those cases.
All right. I think we're going to go ahead and try to wrap this up because I don't like to keep people longer than an hour. All of our time is money. So, do you have any last little bits of wisdom for us?
Make sure you guys go and join the Poshmark group, the Posh Boss HQ group. If you want to learn more, if you want to contribute, you know, there are some great discussions going on every day in there. So make sure you go and join that. I think Star has it linked below.
That will be down below in the box. Holly can give it to you in the chat real quick if she wants. And you will have to answer a couple questions to get in. Please answer them. They're not hard.
Don't let that scare you off from doing Posh. Don't be afraid of Poshmark. Don't let that scare you away.
No, and actually, I waited it for 6 months. Jamie kept telling me I needed to cross post, and I said, "Ain't nobody got no time for that." Like that meme. I just envisioned it would be just like this big time suck. And at first, it was because I didn't know what I was doing. But now that I know what I'm doing, it takes me 20 minutes to share my closet in the morning with my morning coffee. It takes me 20 minutes right after lunch. Posting on there, if you're posting new, I'm not quite sure how long it would take me, but I'm cross posting. I can do 20 in an hour. So if I'm only doing
the process on Poshmark is much faster than the listing process on eBay. eBay, I can't stand eBay's app. I just want to throw my phone every single time.
Yeah, eBay is a lot harder, and I can do 20 on Posh in an hour. I've never done one from scratch. Well, yeah, I guess it is because I'm just taking the photo, but I'm copy pasting too. But basically, it takes me 15 minutes to do 5, and then at night around 10 o'clock, when I sit down with my adult beverage of the evening, I share one last time and do party. So, you know, and like I said earlier, I watch other YouTubers. I learn while I'm doing it. You can watch your shows on Netflix. It's
yeah,
really
the last party of the night is usually when I'm sitting down to watch TV, and I can do my 200 shares on my iPad within 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's daunting and scary from the outside, but when you're in there and you know what you're doing, it's not time consuming. And the way you can know what you're doing is join Sydney's Facebook group. She's amazing, but there's a lot of other members in that group who are veterans on Posh and can really help and answer questions.
Yeah, there are some great conversations that happen in that group every single day. Like, it blows my mind, the things that people, you know, have experienced. And like, that's why I really created the group, is so everybody can kind of learn from each other.
Yeah, people talk about everything in there. We were having a discussion last night about the yellow tags at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
And retail arbitrage. So, and then the other way you can know what you're doing is to follow this beautiful lady on Instagram. She is at Sydney Elle Posh down below, and follow her YouTube channel. You don't have to go binge watch every video she's ever made, but go search up some of the things that you're asking here, things that you want to know about. Search up closet clear out. I always want to call it close out. Search up closet clear outs. Search up offers to likers. She has a lot of information on there for you guys. And
yes, and I have
Sydney knows what she's doing.
Maybe it's kind of put me off track, but I do have some new videos coming out this week, so make sure you subscribe, because I did like a Q&A within the group, and I have some great questions from people that I'll be answering this week.
Yeah, and I think that's the other benefit of having a Facebook group. It lets her keep a finger on the pulse of the Posh community to see what we're talking about, to see what we're asking about, and then she can create videos for us that answer these questions. She also has a blog. She links that in the group. It's invaluable. Go in the group, follow her, like her.
And I'll also be at Posh Boss in Dallas in October if anybody is going to that.
And then if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we have Hungry Hippos to feed. So subscribe, help us feed the Hungry Hippos.
Yes, please subscribe to Star and feed the hippos.
And make sure you push the bell when you subscribe to me and Sid, so you can get notifications. Double check that you stay subscribed. We just found out last night that Sydney was unsubscribed to me somehow.
It unsubscribes me from people quite frequently, because I'll be expecting videos and then I go and I'm not subscribed to them anymore, and it's super frustrating.
Yeah. And like this video, please. If you learned something from it,
give us a thumbs up.
And tell your friends about the video so they can watch the replay, because I really feel like there was a lot of good information on Posh in here tonight, and Posh is not my playing field. I'm getting there. I'm learning it, but, you know, I can do eBay, I can do plush, but Sydney is the Posh expert. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us. Everybody that is here, everybody that was here and left, thank you for what little bit of time you gave us. Time is money. time is important. So we appreciate that you spent time with us tonight. Everybody have a wonderful night. And
bye, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Yep. We'll see you next time.